but sadly, many people in the COW community find it difficult to talk it openly about their mental health. As Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister for Mental Health and Suicide Prevention, Minister Coleman once told me that he had noticed the demand from the COW community for culturally and linguistically appropriate mental health services. And he encouraged us to take the initiative to provide mental health services for the community. We are extremely honored and pleased to have Minister Coleman attending this special ceremony today to mark the official commencement of CAS H-Line non-crisis hotline. On behalf of CAS, I would like to thank Minister Coleman for the encouragement and support provided for the development of this hotline service. I would also like to acknowledge Councillor Nancy Liu's assistance for CAS to develop this service. Your motion at the council meeting to support our effort is greatly appreciated. Thank you. H-Line is particularly helpful under the impact of COVID-19 situation, when so many people in the COW community are experiencing emotional distress. It is going to be operated by a group of trained volunteers to provide mental well-being and emotional support in Mandarin and in Cantonese initially. It provides an opportunity for people in the Chinese community to seek support, which is tailored to meet their language and cultural need, and lowers their overall stress and anxiety. In addition, H-Line will serve as an information hub, helping people to address their mental health issues at an early stage and providing a referral information for people to seek professional help. The demand for mental health services for the COW community is growing rapidly over the years. This hotline service is certainly the beginning of CAS's provision of mental health services for the community, as well as our commitment to support those vulnerable individuals in the community in catering for their needs. Once again, I would like to thank Minister Coleman for attending this special occasion today, and it's through his support that we are able to have this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhao. Now I would like to invite the Honourable David Coleman to give his speech.
Great. Well, thank you, and good morning, everyone. It's really fantastic to be here. Can I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we meet, and all of the very many dignitaries we have with us today. Chairman Bo, the founder of CAS, Henry, wonderful to see you here, Henry, as always, to Tony, the Chief Executive, to Teresa and all the other board members and staff members who are here. Thank you. And I can't forget Ivan, and thank you so much for everything that you do. This is a really important thing that you're doing. So as Bo said, since December, so nearly a year now, I've had a role as Assistant Minister to the Prime Minister for Mental Health and Suicide Prevention. And in creating that role, the reason that the PM created that role is to really emphasise the significance and the importance of mental health issues and the importance of suicide prevention in our community. It's an extremely important issue, and mental health issues touch on so many Australians of all backgrounds. And when I speak to people, I think most people, whether through a family member, a friend, themselves, have had some sort of a connection to mental health issues and the mental health system. And it's so important that we all do everything we can to help people who are experiencing mental health issues, and also to act early to help prevent mental health issues becoming more serious and more critical over time. One of the key things that the government has done this year is release a very big investment package in mental health. So back in the budget, we invested some $2.3 billion into the mental health and suicide prevention system. 5 key pillars that we're focused on across the system: early intervention and prevention, so acting early to help people before things become more serious. Suicide prevention, about $300 million investment in suicide prevention programs. In treatment, we're creating a new network of adult mental health centres called Head to Health. And in fact, just near here, one of the first what we call pop-up clinics under Head to Health has opened in Hurstville. And that Head to Health investment is some $487 million, a very significant investment in treatment. We've also invested in further support for vulnerable groups, in particular the Indigenous community, which sadly suffers from much higher rates of mental health issues and suicide than the broader community. Investment in called mental health services. And finally, what we call workforce and governance. So investing in helping people to get into the mental health workforce, because we need people to join the mental health workforce. And so for anyone who's listening to this today, who's considering a career in mental health, I would really encourage you to do that, because there are huge numbers of opportunities in mental health, whether it's becoming a psychologist or a social worker or a mental health nurse, or if you're someone with lived experience of mental health, that's a really important part of the developing workforce as well. But developing the workforce is really a fundamental thing the government's working on. And anyone who's thinking about it, I really encourage you to do it, because A, there are great opportunities, and B, what could be more important than helping other Australians to deal with mental health issues? So really encourage you to really consider that. So that's by way of background. What I wanted to say in picking up those comments is that it's so important we have mental health services right across the board and across called communities and in language and that are culturally appropriate. And that's why this is such an important service that the CAS is providing, and that all of you volunteers are going to be providing, and thank you for doing it. Bo mentioned about the fact that there can still be some hesitation for people to speak up and to get help when they're experiencing mental health issues. And what we know is that getting help helps. It helps to talk. And I think it's true that the stigma around mental health issues is less than it used to be. And that's a really positive thing. But there is still some stigma that exists, and there still are some people who are hesitant to come forward. And by creating a service in Mandarin and Cantonese that culturally appropriate for people of Chinese background, that will be really helpful, because there may well be people who will feel more comfortable coming forward and speaking to someone in Mandarin or Cantonese, and adding this additional service to our mental health landscape is a really good thing. We've got lots of wonderful organisations in the mental health sector in Australia, organisations like Lifeline, like Beyond Blue, like Reach Out, that does tremendous work, particularly for young people in digital services. And for CAS in taking this step in creating a mental health support service for people of Chinese background is a terrific thing. I want to really thank CAS for doing that. I want to thank all the staff who are working on this project. And in particular, I want to thank all the volunteers who are going to be working on this phone line. My mum was a Lifeline volunteer many, many years ago. And I know that she got, a lot out of that, to be able to give back to your community in that way and to help people who are struggling is a really wonderful thing to do. And it's great to hear about all of the training that you've been going through in recent weeks as you gear up for the launch of the new H-Line service. So sincere thanks to all the volunteers. It means a lot that you're stepping up to help people, to support the community, and to give people, someone to talk to. We do know that it helps to talk. We know tragically that men constitute some 3/4 of suicides in Australia, but are only 1/3 of the appointments in the Medicare system for mental health issues. And so what that tells you is that men are often, in particular, hesitant to come forward and talk. And so encouraging people to come forward, whether they be men or women, is a really important thing. We have seen during the pandemic an increase in levels of mental health distress. There's no question about that. Concerningly, we've particularly seen that with young people, with teenagers, with young adults, and through very substantial investment in Headspace and a range of other initiatives, the government's very focused on this issue. We're also recently released some legislation related to social media that will in the future require social media companies to get parental consent before opening accounts for children under the age of 16, and also to act in the best interest of children, which we think is very important. Yeah. And so we have seen an increase in levels of distress during the pandemic, but even prior to the pandemic, there were significant levels of mental health concerns in the community. It's a very positive thing that we talk about it more than we used to, and it's a very positive thing that there are so many different activities happening in the mental health sector, despite the fact that there was an increased level of stress and distress last year due to the pandemic. We actually saw the rate of suicide in Australia decline by about 5%. Now, many of us feared that the rate of suicide would increase because of the level of increased level of distress, but it didn't. And that's a positive thing. And I think that demonstrates that all of the various activities that are happening in this area are having an impact in helping people. And today, in launching this service, you join a very distinguished group of organisations and individuals who have stepped up to assist their fellow Australians with mental health issues. So to Bo and to everyone at CAS, thank you so much. To Nancy, thank you for your local leadership, for championing this service and for getting the support of local Georges River Council. That is a terrific thing to do. And simply talking about mental health in and of itself is important, because the more conversations like this, the more discussions like this, the more likely people are to feel okay about coming forward, because it's okay not to be okay. Everyone goes through times when they don't feel okay. And it's really important that people know that they should have that conversation, and H-Line will be another source for people to have those conversations. So thank you very much to CAS. Most importantly, thank you to all of you on the screen, all the volunteers. It's a wonderful thing you're doing, and it's really good to be here today. Thanks very much.
The Honourable David Coleman, I would like to invite you to make a call to our hotline to officially launch. Okay. But before I pass you the mobile, I do need to explain to you that our service is tailored for Mandarin and Cantonese speakers. Yeah. Well, I know you speak Mandarin. Let's make the call in English today. So you have a mobile in front of you. Well, by calling the number 9063. Yeah. 8888. Yes. Right. Yeah. Oh, it's on here. Oh, cool. Put it now. Yeah, I should remember that number. Put on speaker. Yeah. Okay. That's right. You don't need to listen. The greetings is in Mandarin and Cantonese only. So at this point, you can press 2. And I'm pretty sure.
你好。
你好 Hello.
你好，这里是 CAS 素心室热线，请问您是哪个方面的事情？
Hello. I pretty much stop at ni hao, so that's sorry. Look, it's really good to make this call, and just want to again thank all the volunteers who are working on this service. I think it's a really great thing that you're doing, and it's very much appreciated. So so please pass on my thanks to all the volunteers who are working on this phone line.
Thank you, David, and thank you for all the CAS staff and all the volunteers. The hotline is CAS H-Line is officially open now.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.